Hello and welcome to Audrey the ICONN Adventures. I've had a few inquiries as to how we set up our diesel heater and kept it portable so that we only have it installed for about 2 months of the year. So here we go. Bear with me. This will take a few minutes to go through. This is our unit, delivered from eBay, less than $109. It's the same as every other 5 kilowatt diesel heater out there. Just it's a black one with a different name sticker on it. Got a 5-litre tank in the top of it, which I'll get in and say quickly, we only fill to about 4 litres. So when we're travelling, it minimises any chance of spillage when we have it stored over in the compartment where a lot of people have theirs mounted permanently or have their toilets, etc. You can see I've got the exhaust pipe bent up there, and I've got a little wire bracket to hold it up off the ground. We've used it quite a few times like that and haven't started any fires yet, so quite happy with how that's working. We have the entire we have the entire heater on a aluminium plate to hold it up so that the exhaust can still slide on and off underneath. You can see my new custom wiring. Yes, I Darylized it using a term that our mate Cole came up with. I've got the air intake for the combustion system mounted up on the back there. That's the black cylinder. And then you'll see another Darylization being the white air intake for the heater to pull air in to warm up. And you can see the cabling coming out there through a number of various connectors. Like most of these units, the control panel comes mounted on the front of it. It has a temperature sensor in it, so it's able to help regulate the temperature it pumps out. With our unit being mounted outside, I needed to move the controller inside, so I've made a bracket and put it on the wall here just next to the doorway. I ran the cable down beside the doorway and it pokes through into the fridge cabinet, which I'll show you now. Cabling pokes through the wall just below that aluminium bracket you can see towards the right hand side, runs down along next to the fridge slide and goes to that flange connector that I have poking through the floor. I'll just get a little closer here. The cabling coming from your left hand side there is the new power circuit that I ran for the diesel heater. These won't run off of the 12-volt outlets that are mounted in the front of the trailer. The cabling in the trailer is just too undersized to do that, and the diesel heater will error out. With the initial setup of the heater back in June of 24, we just had it pulling the ambient air from around it, warming it up, and then pumping it inside. I had inverted commas, a brilliant idea of let's make it reverse or circulate the air. So I've modified Audrey so that the diesel heater can extract the air out of Audrey, warm it up, pump it back in, and run that in a circular motion so that it's not continually heating 0-degree air. It eventually gets to heat up the 15 to 20 degree air, so it lets the diesel heater work a little easier. So I'll show you where I set it up that we could get the air out of Audrey. Here you can see that I'm looking down between the two seats for the dinette, or this might be under your bunk if you've got a bunk permanently set up. We have ours set up as a lounge. I've just pulled a couple of cushions out of the way to show you this a little easier. You'll see this round vent that I've put through the floor. So that allows me to connect to a fitting underneath, which I'll show you shortly, to allow the heater to extract the air out from floor level and pull it into the heater and warm it up and then return it. All right, underneath Audrey now, that's looking towards the back, and that's the front of the front water tank. I'll just pan up here slowly. That cover there That's the sealing cover for that vent poking through the floor. So to date, it's kept all the dust out, which has been awesome. Looking back from the vent, you can see the travel plug that I have in there. That's the other side of the connector poking up through the back of the fridge cavity. And we just take this blank out and plug the cable in from the heater when we want to use it. This is a little awkward to see. This is the bash plate in front of the step, and looking into the cavity behind it, you'll see that I now have an aluminium box in there, and that's a plastic blanking plate, and the R clip goes through a securing pin, so it prevents that blanking plate from falling out while we travel on our lovely rough roads. So that box there is where we feed the hot air out of the heater to get it into Audrey. So you can see that we obviously go through the side wall of the stairwell, and I'll show you what we've got in there. There's the heater now with the outlet pipe hooked up to it with the adapter that I made that goes onto that aluminium box underneath. That gets all very, very hot. I've measured it somewhere in the vicinity of about 70 degrees C when the heater's running on about 50%. With the original setup, we just had this vent here. We had it right down here, so right down here, and it would blow air into the cabin. And then we found that the wall over here below your switch panel got very, very warm because the warm air was coming and hitting that directly. So again, in the quest to make things more efficient and better, I've built a duct that raises that vent up to this height. And oh, what a difference it made. Instead of warming up down near our feet, that now allows the heater to push the air directly up and into the bed area, which is a bit untidy because they're the cushions off our lounge. So that duct has made a huge difference to how the air gets in and helps warm up the interior of Audrey. I'll just put it all together now underneath, and then you can see what it's like. I should have said at the very beginning, this is not the only way to do it, and this is not necessarily something to copy. It just may give you some ideas as to how you can go about it. And there it is underneath. That's probably the quickest I've ever set it up, probably 3 or 4 minutes to take it from where you saw it before to have it connected up, so you can see the heater output pipe coming up behind the bash plate for the stairwell, and the heater sitting there. Very hard to see. The cable is plugged up, and then you'll see that I've got this piece of flexible ducting hose to come from the vent to the floor to come around to recirculate the air into the heater. Works a treat, as I say. This is the from the original installation. I've modified it twice and had a great test on the 9-night tour that we just did with Audrey the ICONN Adventures and a group of our camping friends. We used it on 5 of those nights. We'd probably turn it on about 15 minutes before we want to go inside. Just put it on 5 out of 10. 10 settings for this one. Probably have the temperature set for about 20 degrees. And go inside after that sort of 10 or 15 minutes, and it's very, very warm in there. It's very comfortable then to get changed into your pajamas, and you can find yourself just sitting there in your pajamas and not needing to rug up big time to keep warm. So thoroughly recommend having a diesel heater. I held off for a couple of years. I'm a convert. It's just I wanted to keep it simple so we weren't carrying around sort of the 10 to 15 kilograms all the time. I hope that helps anyone that's looking at doing this. If you got any questions, reach out to us on Messenger. And if you watched this far, thank you very much. And happy travels, and hope to see you around the camp sometime. Bye.